What's up everybody, my name is Jesse Cervantes. I'm a filmmaker and today I'll be teaching you how to film a short documentary. We'll be going over 7 basic fundamental steps that I use when I film. I'm going to keep this to the point and short, so if you do have any other questions, please comment below. This is going to be shot in the documentary style, rule of thirds, so you can kind of get a feeling of what the documentary is going to look like. So this can be a bit challenging. Sometimes it's hard to find an idea that you want to film or what you think others will want to watch. What you will come to find out is you just have to find somebody who does something interesting. It doesn't have to be a famous person, a pro athlete, among other successful people. Everyone has an interesting life, and the best way to find a visually compelling story is to think about the B-roll. What are you going to show visually to help propel the story in the direction you are looking for? This could be a really fun part. Go watch a bunch of short documentaries. You can do a simple search on YouTube or Vimeo's website to find different documentaries. On Vimeo's website, you can break down exactly what videos you're looking for by going to Watch, Categories, Documentary, People, and then on the left-hand side, there's a filter to select films under 4 minutes. There are hundreds of these films that you can watch and gather ideas for how you want your short film to look. This could be anything from story structure to angles, unique perspectives, among other things. Remember, you are here for inspiration and not to plagiarize other filmmakers' work. You must think about how you're going to conduct the interview before you start filming. Figure out what the beginning, middle, and end looks like. This could be as simple as you want or as complicated as you want. Here's an easy story structure. Starting the film with their name and what it is they do. For example, hi, my name is Jesse Cervantes. I'm a filmmaker and designer living in Salt Lake City, Utah. Once you get that, talk about what it is they do. Why are you filming them? What they want to accomplish? How they got into this field? What do their friends and family think about what they do? What are their parents like? This could all be things for the middle section of the film, and you can end with a simple, what are your plans for the future? A more intricate film could start out with the main emotional point that came when you interviewed your source. This could grab the audience attention and keep them hooked to watch for the entire video. This is where the rule of thirds comes into play. Your source is not going to be staring into the camera, just like me right now. They will be talking with you. The camera will be off to your side. If you only have one camera, take some time to set up the shot and pay attention to how much of the source's face you can see. If the camera is set up close to you, you can see more of the face and the angle isn't as extreme. If the camera is further away from you, you may only see one side of the source's face. Also make sure the distance from the camera to the source isn't too close or far away, depending on what focal length your lens is. Take some time to set up your shot and you should be fine. Lighting is very important to give your source depth. If you don't have lighting set up, it's best to put your source close to a window. If there are blinds, you can adjust them and get the right amount of light intensity on your subject. There are plenty of good lighting tutorials that I will link below. There are plenty of different angles, movements, and objects to film. Get creative. Don't only film the source from one distance. Get close, film their hands, their feet, face, among other things. This helps to keep the audience in tune with the film, keeping it interesting and exciting. There are a few different angles you can get when filming. What I do is get multiple angles of the same shot. That way, during the editing process, I have multiple angles to choose from to help propel the story in the direction I want to go. Movement should be kept to a minimum unless you have a stabilizer or gimbal to keep the footage smooth. If you do have a gimbal or stabilizer, there are a few different movements you can do. Audio is crucial for getting your documentary right. If the audience can't hear what the source is saying, or if their mic is rubbing up against their clothing, you are going to have to refilm. Always have a backup, use 2 mics when you are recording, and this could save you a lot of headaches. Music is also a great way to keep the audience's attention. Make sure you are using music that fits with the style of film you are making. This is a big one. Talk to the person before the interview and get to know them a little. Tell them a little about the filming process. Most people are not used to being in front of a camera, and let them know you can edit the film if they need to repeat themselves because they lost their train of thought. Make sure they know to repeat the question. The audience needs some context behind what they're saying. For example, if you ask them, what is your favorite color? Make sure they say, my favorite color is blue, versus just saying blue. It gives the audience an understanding of what is going on because you will not be in the film, only they will. So editing can be a whole video on its own, and I may do a video in the future, but just make sure you're using your B-roll to cover up any A-roll cuts while also using the B-roll to propel the video. Short films can be a long process. They're always worth it though. Every situation is different. You might have access to your source for a day, or maybe they're close to your location and you have access for weeks. Make sure you're using the most with your time and gathering as much film as you can during the time you have. One film I produced involved a sculptor. She threw clay and then had to fire the clay. There was no other way to complete this film than doing it over a few weeks and filming the whole process along the way. You may run into a problem once you start editing, a shot that doesn't quite look right or a sequence that doesn't feel smooth. The best solution is to reshoot if possible.